If you are trying to grow a brand, templates can be your friend. It's a way to put out consistent visuals, and consistency is the hardest part about growing a brand. Templates are a great way that your visuals can remain consistent, and as a designer, I've been doing graphic design for 3 years. I have a couple of quick wins if you're not a designer or you're talking to a designer about how you can make your own brand templates. Now, I'm not going to go too much into finding a template on Canva or some other like stock website. I'm talking about building your own brand templates so that it's actually custom to you and has all of your brand assets on it, your logo, your colors, your typography, things like that. So the basics of a brand template is you must have the same colors, the same text, like fonts, and similar visual elements, and I'll explain what I mean by that in just a second. But let's go through some quick wins if you're wanting to design one of these yourself. First of all, download Affinity. It's completely free. Anyways, I got 5 quick wins for you. So the first one is to use your logo in the background. So take your logo, set it to overlay as your blend mode, and just make it huge so it fills up the entire background. That way, whatever you put over this, if you put a picture over this, your background is behind it. So at least your logo is behind it. So at least your logo is visible no matter what you do. Another quick win you could do is any brand patterns that you have created. I'm still in the process of making my own patterns, but this is a pattern and it's got elements of my logo in there, and repeated enough, people are going to start seeing this pattern, and when combined with my logo, they understand that this is my brand. So put your pattern in the background as well. Another quick win is just a colored border. If you have a specific brand color that is unique to you, or that you want to make unique to you or special to you, whatever, just put it as a border around all of your graphics, because anything can be in here. There can be anything in here, but this border, it acts as branding for you. So pretty simple, pretty quick. And then lastly, take an element of your logo and just stick it in the corner. Now you could stick your logo in the corner, super obvious, I guess. That's why I didn't include it here, but I have my logo here. Let me just copy this over and scale it down so you can see it. I have my logo. I have to take it off this mode and set it to there. Boom. And what I did is I just stuck it here, and of course I had to edit it just a little bit so that I don't have this square sticking out. But having this recognizable aspect of the logo here just brands whatever piece of content is on this page as my own. Okay, and then lastly, actually bonus, I said 5, but we have 6. If you have a gradient that is yours, you can just use a gradient as a background. That also works to brand your templates however you want. And these are all specific to you. So whatever colors you have for your brand, whatever logo you use for your brand, use those colors and that logo as think about this as like the foundation. It's the background of whatever template. Now there's a bunch of different types of templates that you would need for a brand. So we have social media posts, there's posters, marketing graphics, layouts for like magazines, if you do magazines, or if you write manuals. If you sell a product and you include instructions, you want templates for that. And packaging is a huge one. So all of these things need their own templates, and this is kind of a base for that type of thing. Now these 6 here are mostly for like display graphics on like a screen. This one, something like this doesn't make too much sense on a package, although in this context it kind of does look like there could be a little bow there like this is gift wrapping or something. Anyhow, these ones work especially well for like social media graphics, I would say, and maybe even marketing depending on how you use it. Anyways, what I want to do is actually build a template with you guys live and show you some of my thinking behind what I'm doing. So I have my own little color palette here. I'm just going to set the background to be my darker color, and I like this idea. I'm going to go with this idea of having the logo in the background. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this and this here, because I'm just going to put this square kind of down here at the bottom and get rid of everything else. So I don't need all of this. I can delete that. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is put that there, delete that, straighten this out. There we go. Push this up to the edge of the canvas there, just like that. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks already. So this might work as the background for a social media post. Now let's start actually building a template off of this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some margins. Now this is a 1080p little square here, and the margins will just help to make sure that I don't push anything too close to the edge and it becomes unreadable. So there we go. Now something about 50 pixels will probably be more than enough, so I'm just gonna put that there, and then let's start creating a template. So the first thing I'm going to start with is a headline. So I'm going to take my main font here, which for me is Lineseed Sans. I'm going to make it bold, and how big do I want this to be? I'm thinking somewhere around 60 points will look good here. I'll center it and put it at the very top like that. Okay, and then I have a ratio that I like to use. I'm going to scale this down, so I'm going to divide this by 1.21 times 2, and this is going to be my subheadline like that. That can go about there, and then if I duplicate this, and I'm gonna, so this is about 25 pixels. I'm just gonna round this down to 24. 24 is a more standard point size anyways. Okay, and then we're going to divide this by 1.21 two times as well. That gets us to 9.9. I'm just going to scale that up to 10. Let's unbold this, regular weight. This becomes our body copy, or not our body copy, but the our body style. So now we have I've created a hierarchy for my typography system for this specific template. Now this type of thing is typically pretty standardized already in like a brand guideline or a visual identity, but for this example I'm just building it all out custom so you can see how it works. Now the thing about body style is it's not very helpful seeing it on its own like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a text frame, just a random frame there, and I'm going to basically copy the style. I'm basically going to copy the style over this, insert filler text on this, there it is, and now that gives me a view of how this looks. And I need this, I'm just gonna set this to left align. Okay, my text frame was doing something weird, so I had to fix it. But now we can visualize what a block of body copy would look like. And for me personally, I have a philosophy, you could say, of basically more pictures and less text. So for this template, I'm going to minimize the amount of text on the screen. And what I'm going to do is line up the copy or the text frame till it aligns with this bottom edge. And then I want to wrap this kind of like that, and maybe I want this to be justified, but that could just make it look weird. So if we do something like that, that looks kind of cool, and shrink it down so it's only a couple of lines, which means that in order to balance this, let's pull that down, and that looks about good. I think that looks about good. There's a couple of other variations I would experiment with, but for now I think this works and is okay. Now there's something cool that I can do because I have this shape here. If I right click it and convert it to a picture frame, I can bring in a picture of whatever I want. And because I have this set to overlay, it's being weird. What I'm going to do is just take this color and use this for the picture frame style, which I actually need to delete that and do this, set it to normal. Okay, now I can drag my picture in and it shows up properly just like that. I'm just going to rotate this and make sure that it fills the image. Boom. So if I wanted this random image to be in my graphic, like maybe I'm talking about palm trees or summer or something, I don't know, this would work. But I have a completely custom template now for my brand, and it has unique branding to me because this is a piece of my logo. Now, a lot of social media posts come in a series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this whole thing and I'm going to get rid of that shape, but I'm going to copy my logo back over. And what we're going to do here, if I can find the logo I just pasted, here it is. Okay, I'm going to expand this so that this shape goes across the entire screen. And again, I don't need any of these, so I can delete this. I can delete this. I'm going to set it to this color, because I like that color. Put it in the background, just like that. And now I need to customize the text wrap or the text position of this, which honestly, there's an open space down here. I'm just going to do something like that. Limit the amount of text that I can actually have in the picture because I like that, and shift that over. So now this would be like the second post in a series of posts. And then similarly, I could have a third one where I've got, set this to normal, delete all this, and it's going to be this last piece of my logo like that. Maybe we'll shift these over so that they're, you know, mirrored like that. Set this to our color there. Probably shift this over all the way to the, mostly to the margin. Not quite, but yeah, like that. And maybe that works. Maybe that's something that I want, or maybe not. Here's an idea that I'm having now that I'm looking at this. If I want to include a picture here, which if I did that, I need to click here, and I need to delete all of this. Otherwise, the picture isn't going to line up very well. I just need to straighten these out. There we go. Now I can convert this to a picture frame, drag in whatever kind of picture that I want, like these beautiful cliffs right here. So I could do a picture like that. Or if I wanted to include a person or a character in my photo, which a lot of times you do, I will make a change. So what I'm going to do is this is going to come down. I'm going to include this under here. I need to turn on my margins again. There we go. Something like this. And let's drag in another picture here. Okay, so here's a picture. I've removed the background from it, and I'm going to set him right on top of this line there. And what I'm going to do to make this more of a template, because what I could do is put this down, text wrap it, and have the text go around him, which would look pretty cool, but it wouldn't be very reusable. So I have to apply a little bit of extra technique in order to make this work. So I want the picture to fit in probably about this amount of space, but I also want it to fit within my logo as well. So what I'm going to do is select both of these and grab the shape builder tool, and if I should be able just to cut that out like so. Yep, that worked. I'm gonna set this to white just as a visual. Actually, I think that needs to be transparent. So no color, picture frame, and now I drag my photo in so I can turn this up, place inside like that. So now it looks like he's sitting in the logo, but he comes out of the logo up here, which is pretty great. Now I'm going to shift this picture over because I can, but you know what, for templates, we're not going to make any changes actually. Not for a template, but there we go. We have that there. What I am going to adjust though is grab my node tool, and I can bring this over just a little bit more like that. And I like the scale. I like where that's at. So that kind of worked there. But now we included a picture of a dude, and it looks like he's sitting inside of our logo here. Maybe I'd make some adjustments to the frame so that I could scale things up or change it. But for now, I think that works. But now let's say that this is our sequence, which, hey, I need to make this also. Let me fix this because this is also going to be part of my template. Delete that, set that there. Delete that. Straighten that out and bring this guy down kind of like that. I'm going to convert this to a picture frame. And the nice thing about this being a picture frame is when you do take out the picture, well, you have to delete it, not just hide it. It has the color. And so if you didn't want a picture, but you just wanted the color, you could do that, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay, let me throw a picture in this one. I have a beautiful desert. There we go. So now what we've got, if this is 1, 2, and 3, when I post these on social media, this is the first post. It has our picture. This is the second post, and this is the third post, or this one, whichever one I want. But the thing is, it's branded to me as this is my logo broken into 3 pieces. So they're moving through my logo, and as they're going through the social media post as well. So it's very custom branding specifically for me. This can't be made into a template by some random person on Canva because this is literally my logo. Like nobody else has my logo, so nobody else can have a template quite like this. And that's why branded templates are super great at building your brand and expanding it and getting people to know you, and ultimately when they know you and they like you, they associate a positive thing that happens in their life with your company, and that helps build the brand. So anyhow, that is an example of branded templates. And honestly, what I would do if I were to change anything is limit myself to like 3 lines on some of these, expand this out, and now I can set like a text wrap on this guy, probably set it to tight like that. And you know what? I'd have to customize that too much. It's not worth messing with for now. but set this to 3 lines just because for social media, people aren't going to read. So simplify it. Make your life easy. Something like that even. Cool. I like that. Branded templates. There you go. If this was useful, then check out this video. It might also be useful to you, but thanks for watching. Peace out.